Third time recording this video. I hope this time it's great. So when you go on vacation, it's not always the most relaxing part of keeping reptiles. And today we'll see what can you do to have a more relaxing experience. Let's go. So we have different parts and we'll go step by step on it. So we have water, we have food / cleaning. We'll see why in a minute. You have your lights and you have your heat and light. Well, we'll see. First thing first, water. When it comes to water, normally you change it daily. Let's say you change it daily. I'm going to say here, it's not going to kill them if you don't change water for 2 or 3 weeks. It's not going to kill if you change water for that couple of weeks, okay? It's better if it can be changed, of course, but it's not going to be the end of the world. If you're someone that can come and change the water every like twice a week at least, it's top-notch, perfect, but it's not going to end the life of your snake if it's not done for once a year for 2 or 3 weeks, okay? And if you change it right after you come back and just before you leave, so it is the stuff, okay? And if you want to be sure like your snake is pooping in water, just get like multiple small water dishes, you know. If one is not clean, or if it urates in the water, if it's not clean for one, you have still like 2 or 3 different little water dishes that they can drink off. That is like clean water, you know, maybe not fresh water, but clean water at least. So it is this part of the stuff. Now, and I didn't show you, but it is Ishiki here, my banana and ball python. I wanted to go out for a little time, but yeah. So this water part is pretty chill when it comes to it, so it's not super difficult. But you have the feeding / cleaning. We'll go first on the cleaning part and then on the feeding because it's linked. So when it comes to urates, there is water, they drink, they urate. So you can't do anything about that. What you can do something about is the cleaning of poop. Why do I say that? Is because to poop they have to eat, so that's why it's linked to feeding. So my stuff, what I do is 2 weeks before leaving, 2 weeks and a half before leaving, I feed them for the last time, and up until I come back they're not fed at all. Why do I do that? It's only for the sake, it's only because I know that my snakes here, generally speaking, they take between 3 and 5 to 7 days to clean, not to have like just their meal and have it like out. So once it's out, you're good. So you have to pay attention to that and know that, let's say for 7 to 10 days, let's take a margin, and you say, yeah, for 7 to 10 days before leaving, they have everything that needs to go out. So I have to feed them at least 10 days before I'm leaving. So you feed them like a week and a half, 2 weeks minimum. I prefer a little bit more. So the thing is, don't stress out if your snake is not going to eat for 4 or 5 weeks. It's not going to die, of course. You know, if you have like small little baby snakes, you know, newborn and stuff, maybe like find someone that can feed them, but it's not going to kill them if they're not fed for a couple weeks. Like adult ball pythons, like carpet pythons, like corn snake, they can go easy. Like, or even almost any snakes could go without food for 3-4 weeks without any problem. So for example, my ball python Auda, which is in shed, which is pretty nerve-wracking because every time she eats, these last 7 months, she shedded. So I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah. So the thing is that when you have that, you know, but she went off food for 2 years in a row from October, November up until April, May. And this year she went from end of October to end of May. And yeah, when I'm talking, she was still, no, it's still like a long time before this video is coming, so maybe she's still not eating a lot, but yeah, so I want her to get a little more weight. But yeah, so when it comes to feeding, like as I said, don't stress out if they're not eating. You know, we tend to overfeed our snake with a weekly schedule, so you know, it's not for once a year or so that they don't eat for 3 or 4 weeks that they're going to die, okay? Most snakes, of course, you know, there are still exceptions sometimes, you know, but so do your research about it and know your species, of course, but in general, it's not going to be the end of the world if they're not eating for a couple weeks. Now, when it comes to eating and lights, you have the lights. Well, if your light pops off, if there is no heat attached to it, I mean, there is no problem because they don't need the light actually, really. If there is light, ambient light, they won't need the light in their tank. So if you're using UVB or LED lights, you know, and it goes off, it breaks, you know, when you're gone, don't cry over it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the end, blah, 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 because it's not, okay? Will be still good to go, okay? Now, when you have a problem is if the heat is the light. Now, with a halogen lamp, for example, if it goes off, there's no heat anymore. So, depending on the heat of the room, but for example, if your room is like 22 to 23 degrees Celsius, all the time, you know, for most snake, not all, but most snake, it's going to be okay for a couple days, not for extended period of time, of course, but you need to fix that as fast as you can when you come back. And if you can have someone change it if needed, it's even better. But you know, if you don't have, like, don't stress out about it, depending on where you live, of course, and depending on the temperature of your room. If your room is like 15 degrees Celsius, I mean, for garter snake, it's not the end of the world. For carpet python, for example, it's not the end of the world. But there are species where this type of temperatures all the time is not the best, you know, or maybe it's the best, you know, depending on the species. You have to know your species for that. I don't know which species you keep at home. So yeah. The thing is, you know, if you can have someone coming to your home and check all the snakes and check if everything is okay, it is the best option. Now, if you don't have this ability, this option, you don't have to cancel your holidays for that, because, you know, it's not going to be the end of the world for most of the time, for most species. If there is no heat or no lights, you know, for a couple days. Of course, like, you know, if your room gets to 10 degrees Celsius, I mean, it's logical, okay? But if your room is like mine here, 2022 all year round, you're okay. You will be okay for that, for the matter. So that's, yeah. And if you need surveillance, I mean, in my link, in my bio, in the description of the video, there is the camera I use. So I use the Google Nest camera. You know, I put it where I can see all the enclosure, and then I'm really good to go. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to support the SR. Don't forget to jump with kids inside Petrol. Don't forget to support responsible reptile keeping, and I hope to see you on the next one.